this is a little video for people who have been looking at these HHO hydroxy gas welding machines on eBay and people making videos on YouTube. Right now, a number of the videos on YouTube showing people cutting through cans and stuff like that. Now, yeah, it does that. It cuts through small, thin pieces of tin plate quite easily. Let's have a look. Quickly run over it. Literally run. And I think yeah, this is just a aluminium Driggs can, as you can see. I think it's aluminium. Yeah, it will be. Also will do the same to a thin tin can, except I think I've just got rid of them. If I stand that on there, I really need a tripod, which I'll go and get now. Okay, these machines run on distilled water. Basically, you pour in your distilled water, and you also put sodium. Is it sodium hydroxide? Drain cleaner, basically, in here, a solution of that, and then you top it up with distilled water. Now, when this is consuming the water, the drain cleaner powder, the sodium hydroxide, if that's the right stuff, does not get consumed by the unit, so that should stay in for its life. You only need to keep topping it up with distilled water, or sorry, deionized water, I should say. Yeah, deionized water, which you use for steam kettles and car batteries, as it shows there. Now, what it says in the instructions is when that gets to a certain pressure in the bubbler, it turns the electronics off, which it's just done. So it's the first time I've seen a test of that. Now, what we want to know is this capable of doing more than just cutting holes in things? First of all, the standard gas nozzle or gas jet, whatever, that comes with these is rubbish. I couldn't even get it to stay on once it was lit, so I've replaced it with one of these, which was about £24 on eBay. You can get these quite easily. Now, first of all, here's the old demo. There you go. Will it cut a can? It certainly cuts cans up. So it's like a small cutting torch for thin plate. Does that pretty damned easily. Now, what we really want to know, though, is what properties it has for fixing things, for joining things together. Now, this here is a bit of scrap copper plate, and I'm going to quickly give it a wire brush in here, and what we want to know is, will it actually solder? So here's the demonstration that some people have been waiting for. Right. Does it make the solder run out over the copper? The answer is a big no. It doesn't. You could say I should have used flux. Let's see. But this is electrical solder, which has its own flux. But just to keep people happy, I will put a little dab of flux on the area. But first of all, knock that solder off like so. Clean it again because it appears to have oxidized the surface. Right, on goes the flux. On goes the flux. That'll be, well, it's not borax, but you know, plumbing flux. Now this is the first time I tried it, adding a flux on. And basically what this does, the solder just balls up and doesn't adhere to the surface. Let's try poking it around, agitating it, trying to get, I think, a little bit possibly joined there. But it's not very good. It's not a good result. Basically, a butane or a propane torch will give you a lot better result than that. Something burning normal hydrocarbons. But the hydroxy gas, even though I've been dying to test this stuff out, hoping that it was going to give good results, it just doesn't seem to. You can see the flames died down a little bit now because the pressure in the bubbler has dropped. Now, what I've noticed is the amps gauge on the meter there, when it's running with a full tank of water, which is on the display here on the front, there's the water there, the current seems to be around 5 amps. Now as the water level drops, the current seems to go up. It was actually up around 15 amps on the display yesterday when I was running this. Now what we want to know is it's a bit of an abysmal failure on copper. Now here's a piece of aluminium plate, and this is what I've been really wanting to test it on. And with aluminium plate, you should be able to use something called Lumi-Weld or Tech Weld, and you clean it up with a small stainless steel brush, the area to work on. Normally you don't have to clean it too well. Then you use a little bit of glass paper. Yeah. So you then get your Tech Weld. Now I've got the Tech Weld kicking around here somewhere. Ah, there it is. This is the Tech Weld alloy solder or welding rod, whatever you want to call it. Now if we hold it right here, we probably will get the stuff to melt, but what happens is, there you go, stuff's starting to melt. Now what happens is it seems to make it burn. The flame from this torch is supposed to be 2,800 or 2,600, somewhere around that, degrees centigrade. So the question is what happens when you melt this stuff over aluminium? Now this is really a little tool I use for Lumi welding. It's a piece of stainless steel with tech weld already stuck on the end. It's effectively a small torch. Sorry, not torch, it's a small soldering iron. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the area where we want to join it. Now this is running at about 5 amps at the moment, and that flame is about as maximum as you can get with a 5 amp flame running on it. There's virtually nothing on the gauge, on the pressure gauge. Right, the tech weld's just starting to melt. Now we need to see the surface of the aluminium hot enough to join this. Now what seems to happen again is oxidization to the surface of the aluminium. And the tech weld doesn't seem to want to bond to the aluminium. Also, aluminium is very good at conducting heat, and it tends to conduct the heat from this small flame away. I was hoping that this would be able to do body repairs on a Land Rover without causing distortion to the body. But what it seems to do, the hydrogen and oxygen burning, is it causes oxidization on the metal surface. Now I have seen some videos of people reporting to be using HHO for work in work on alloys, but you can see what it's doing there. It's just caused like a little fireball to the tech weld. See, it's almost it's reaching its flash point. So the alloys are burning. They're reaching flash point, but in terms of trying to bond it to the surface of the metal below, the aluminium, it doesn't. So that, you know, the stuff has gone past its point of melting and it's reached a flash point, like magnesium would. Yeah, and you can see it's all just oxidizing the surface of the aluminium below, and it doesn't bond. So basically HHO welders, hydroxies, are just useless for work. Soldering, they don't seem to be good for welding, Lumi welding, tech welding, whatever. They just don't seem to do it. So I thought it's about time you had a video of doing something other than cutting cans up. Yeah. As fun as it is cutting holes in cans, unless that's your job or you really have that as a hobby, then it's not a lot of use to you, you know. Yeah, they're a bit of fun, but you could cut this a lot neater with a pair of scissors. Now, the other use for these is acrylic welding, plastics basically. There are videos of people using these things for that. So, acrylics. I might have some polycarbonate lying around. Scrap of that. Let's have a look. Hey, I haven't a clue what this is going to do. I should probably have a pair of pliers while I do this, but I'm going to risk my fingers. And this is 6mm polycarbonate. I've not cleaned it up in any sort of way. Well, it's just making a black gooey mess. It's burning the surface, making it look like toffee. Right. That's not, there's nothing clean about that. Yeah. Now, I've seen people using it for removing surface scratches on this stuff by heating the surface over, and probably you can do that with it, but in terms of bonding two surfaces together, you can see very fast it just bends them and covers the surfaces in carbon and gets all messy, sticks to your finger. Yeah, so I don't see a lot of use there, but there are professionals using these things online, so they're probably doing something a little bit better than I am. And this is polycarbonate, it's not acrylic, so I don't really mess around with plastics too much, but I do have some scrap bits of polycarbonate, so I thought I'll just try it. So there you go. Good for cutting cans up, probably for heating little bits of steel. Don't know what it'd do. For instance, you know, this is about 2.5mm steel, and someone it was suggested that maybe it would even cut like a cutting torch. But it's not doing very well on 2mm steel. If it was thinner, maybe so. But bear in mind, this is a very small unit. This is the... oh! What was that? Oh, it's just probably paper. This is the... I think it's 75... no, it's the 95 litre model, this. Yeah, okay. It's getting hot. It's not burnt a hole. You know, if you wanted a hole, an electric drill would be a lot quicker way of making a hole through it. So it's not doing that. If it was very thin, 1mm thick, maybe it would burn a hole through the stuff. But that's say 2 or 2.5mm steel bar. Not much. Doesn't do much. Burns paper off quite nicely. The store labels. Yeah, but there you go. I'm sure you can find a better way of removing a store label than having a HHO torch. Yeah, so there you go. That's my findings. Good for cutting holes in tin and aluminium cans. But not much use for work on anything else. Not great for joining stuff together. Okay.